I don't want prohibition, and I don't want smoking to be illegal. But I'd honestly feel as though I was having a more honest discussion if that was what was being proposed, because I feel as though in the end this is a bill about prohibition, ultimately. And one of the reasons that I'm so uneasy about the generational smoking ban part of the bill, which is only part of the bill, is that it restricts individual autonomy by ultimately denying adults the right to make their own choices about a legal activity, whatever its harms. We're asked to focus our eyes on young people, but those born in 2009 grow up. They grow up to be adults who are then denied the choice. And in the end, I think that restricts adult freedoms, and that's a problem. Now, I appreciate that that's a matter of principle, and some people don't think it's very important. But it is, by the way, one of the reasons why I'm nervous about the specific amendments proposed by the noble Lord Murray of Blidworth, because I'm not convinced that moving the legal age from 18 to 21 helps my conscience matter at all, however well motivated, and I do understand its intention. But I think it muddies the water around adult autonomy. I was interested in the points made by the noble Lady Baroness Carberry earlier about polling, saying the public are all behind this. But in fact, in one poll in August 25, 59% of the respondents thought that, and this, by the way, was because the question was posed differently, that if a person can vote, and as we know that's even younger, ever younger now, drive a car, join the army, buy alcohol, or possess a credit card, they should be allowed to purchase tobacco. In other words, they could see that when asked that, they thought that. By the way, only 29% thought it shouldn't be permitted, and only 11% said they didn't, and 11% said they didn't know. Mind you, in the same polling, asked about the most important top 10 bills, this being one of them, this bill came 9th in the list of what should be seen as important progressing through the House. The 10th, by the way, was hereditary peers. Yes, I thought that might appeal to some people. I was playing to a certain crowd. No, but anyway, that's what the polling said. One of the things I want to ask the Minister in all seriousness, because I still can't understand this, is how can the government justify a ban that creates an unequal application of the law, where one group of adults, those born before a cut-off date, can legally purchase tobacco, while another group that are born after cannot? I mean, I just don't understand how that arbitrary cut-off point isn't discriminatory and treating people differently based solely on their birth. So I asked that at second reading and nobody answered me. I also wanted to ask whether it's realistic this is going to stop young people smoking. I mean, at the moment, young people are not allowed to smoke. But according to Ash, in 2023, 11% of 11 to 15-year-olds had tried smoking, 400,000 people. 3% of those, 120,000, currently carried on smoking, and 1% were smoking regularly. In other words, even though it's completely against the law for them to do it, they carried on smoking. So this idea that this bill will magically stop that seems a little ambitious. But I also think that there's a danger here where we're making it verboten for the young to be associated with smoking, that there is a danger of a rebelliousness. I mean, there's been a range of articles written recently, one by Olivia Petter, I think her name is, an award-winning journalist and podcaster, who talked about the fact that smoking is becoming edgy, rebellious and cool again. That the way to be seen ironic at the moment is to be an outsider who doesn't give a damn about the rules. Does the Minister know that designers are producing perfume which features accents of nicotine, and that one of the fastest selling earrings designed on one of the designer sites it contains cigarette butts? The TikTok generation, the Instagram images of smoking are all over the place. Now, I don't want that. I don't want young people to smoke, but I'm talking about unintended consequences. And just on young people and smoking, I did think the interesting exchange about the figures around the illicit black market, I mean, it seems to me that we don't know. That's one of the problems. But I will tell you, as somebody's quoted their lived experience of talking to their nephew, I think, or somebody in the family, that my lived experience of living in a particular part of Haringey in North London is that young people are very actively involved in the illicit black market of selling cigarettes. It's like a youth employment scheme. I mean, everywhere you go, people are offering you illegal cigarettes. That has increased hugely, and it's very many young people like standing on corners, if you see what I mean, like in the way that it happens in America. So I think we have to be honest that we don't quite know what's going to happen here. The final thing that I wanted to say in relation to the young people, because the Noble Baroness, Lady Carberry, again mentioned the government's impact assessment in relation to the bill, but actually that told us, if you read it, that we shouldn't expect any quantifiable benefits until 2044. And it's based on modelling young people and smoking in relation to the idea that they will smoke the whole time in exactly the same way as when they start. I mean, one of the things about young people and smoking is that it's often experimental. And of late, all the evidence shows that it often migrates to safer products like vaping. And the interesting thing about this bill, because somebody has chastised us for not mentioning health, I'm interested in improving health. The best smoking cessation tool that we've discovered recently are vapes, and this bill barely distinguishes between vapes and tobacco, between nicotine and tobacco, in a completely irresponsible way. And I think that if we really want to help young smokers between 18 to 24, who, by the way, there's been a dramatic decline in their smoking, largely because of their uptake in vaping. What we should be doing is liberating vaping, promoting vaping, and stopping this nonsense generational smoking ban, which is discriminatory and is unlikely to help anyone.